Welcome back to Radio Nation. I'm your host, Nicholas Pescod, joined live in studio with Lindsay Broughton.
Hello, Nicholas. How are you?
Good, your mic wasn't on, but now it is on, so perfect. All right, so let's kick off this interview here. So, Lindsay, you're a country singer from Brooklyn, Ontario.
Yes, I am.
So I have to ask, what influenced you to get into country music and talk about your childhood, I guess, growing up in Brooklyn?
Well, actually, my entire start at music, my love for music, came from Disney movies. And I used to listen to The Little Mermaid over and over again and sing the songs and replay and play the tape back and forth. And that's how I discovered my love for it. And then how I got into country was actually my mom sung in a cover country band, and she'd let me get up on stage every now and again and sing a couple of tunes, and that's pretty much how I discovered country. I tried it all, growing up. I tried the rock and roll thing. I tried to be a singer in a rock and roll band, and it just wasn't for me, and country's always where I felt most comfortable singing, and it's what I like to write, so that's where I ended up.
Now, you just mentioned The Little Mermaid. I guess is that your favorite Disney movie then?
That is my favorite Disney movie.
Now, in regards to country, was there anybody you really looked up to growing up?
Yeah, actually, the Judds were my all-time favorite, and it's like Winona and Naomi Judd. They were mother-daughter combination, and they used to have really great harmonies, and the reason why I liked them mostly really was because they wrote their own stuff, they had great voices, and their harmonies were unbelievable. So they've always been my main influence.
What's been, I guess, or what is still the biggest challenge for you in your career as an artist?
Probably, that's a very good question. There's a lot of challenges, and I wouldn't say that one is bigger than the other. I feel like the most challenging thing is the number of challenges that you have to go through being an artist, whether it be, getting the right songs and then finding the right producer and then getting your music out there to people who will appreciate it and listen to it and follow you. It's all, a really hard, I guess, roller coaster ride of a path. There's not one challenge that I would say that was harder than the other. So
now, I guess then, you've been signed by Curve Music.
Yes.
When did that happen?
That happened probably 4 years ago. So I just released my EP in February. So it's been quite a long ride for me. And it's funny, actually, I got signed off MySpace. I was discovered on MySpace.
That's really cool, actually. So how did that happen then?
Well, I'd always been a huge fan of music, and I just sort of went to a friend's basement and recorded a couple tracks that I had written, and then I threw them up on MySpace, and nothing happened for a little while, and then one day I just randomly got a message from actually a couple different labels at the same time, and so I met with a few, and Curve Music offered me the best deal, so I went with them.
What was that feeling like then, so many indie artists worked so hard to get what you got, and you got really lucky too. You got. I'm not discrediting your talent or anything, but I certainly there's a lot of. So what was that feeling like to be signed so quickly?
It's pretty surreal, and I was pretty young when it happened. So even now I look at a lot of the artists that haven't, I wouldn't say, been so lucky and have had a tougher go at it than I have. But I'd say just a surreal feeling. It feels great, to tell people you're signed, but it still is a lot of work. It's not like you sign on the dotted line and
absolutely
all the work's done for you, right? So
now on your bio it says that you were a janitor.
I was a janitor.
So how did you decide that you wanted to be a janitor? Was that just sort of the best paying?
It wasn't quite. I want to be a janitor.
Right.
Let's find the best janitor position. But it was actually a town job, so
okay.
It was the best paying job
right.
around. It wasn't the most glamorous of jobs, but it paid the bills, and
right.
It allowed me to do music at the same time, and it was very flexible with scheduling, so that's why I went with that one.
Now, after high school, did you pursue any post-secondary education as well? Or?
I didn't. Music was my passion. Music is what I wanted, and I wanted to do it full force, no other distractions, and it seems to be working out for me, so fingers crossed I can continue on.
What was that decision like for you I mean, was it really that hard to be like, you know what, I'm going to take a big chance here? I mean, it's a big risk.
It's a massive risk, and I mean, these days you can't get a decent paying job other than the janitor if you don't have an education, right? So it was really, really tough for me. And, you know, I had to go to my mom and say, you know, how would you feel if I didn't go to school and I pursued this? And it was really her that pushed me in the right direction. She said, you know what, you never want to look back in life and, you know, say, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. You know, you could have been here, you could have been there. Just do what you want to do. You're young. Pursue it now while you can.
Now, do you still do any janitor work, or is that's long gone?
It's long gone, but you know, if you ever need any jobs done at home, I still will take a paying gig.
That sounds good. Now, I guess then talk to me, I guess, about your parents' support. How has that been from, you know, obviously your parents sort of pushing you in the direction, say that it's okay not to go to school. Did they ever say maybe that, you know, encourage you to go to music school?
They didn't. I think because it happens for me so fast with the signing and the traveling and the recording and all of that, that they've kind of taken a back seat and just watched me do what I want to do and supported me. And I'm really lucky to have their support, because I know that there's probably a lot of parents that would be shaking their heads right now thinking, you know, it's always good to have a backup plan. And it is, but I mean, I really can't see myself doing anything in life other than music. So this is what I'm going to go for.
Now, you not only do you play the guitar, but you your bio says you play the saxophone and the trumpet and the piano.
I do.
So what is your favorite instrument to play then?
Guitar is my favorite, but my primary instrument would probably be the saxophone. I played in a jazz band growing up, so that was where I started off, and then I moved on to the other ones. And I wouldn't say I'm a great piano player, but I can, you know, dabble and write little songs and but yeah, guitar is my favorite by far. Speaking
of songwriting, you wrote over 100 songs.
I have.
Now, have you always been writing songs from even at a young age? Is it sort of something that you just like, I just have the need to write songs?
It wasn't always songs. It started off as poetry. I used to love writing poems and about anything, like what my brothers were doing at that moment or what I was looking forward to or something I had a dream of. And then when I ended up picking up guitar, I decided to put my lyrics to music, and that's how my songs really started to come together.
Was there a favorite poet that you had at all? Or?
No, myself, actually. I love my own works.
We're going to take a quick break here on Radio Nation. You're listening to Radio Nation with your host, Nicholas Pescod. We're live in studio with Lindsay Broughton. And so we're going to play a couple more quick songs for you here on Radio Nation, and then we're going to get right back to the interview. And then again, later on tonight, we also have Alabama Capital. They're a band we're actually two artists from Ohio. So we're going to have them on the show later on tonight, and that should be a lot of fun.